All I'm gonna say is this may have been the craziest Week 18 we've probably ever had. We got a lot to get to. On the playoffs.
Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, about now, about now, about now.
What is popping, y'all? It is your man Cloudboy Bells. Welcome to another episode of Wisco Sports, where obviously we talk about sports in general. We officially have finished the regular season. 18 weeks of unbelievable football, unbelievable plays, unbelievable upsets, unbelievable moments, unbelievable records being broken. You name it. It's been one heck of a season. And I am speechless on how things ended. This week was the amount of insanity. It's pretty crazy to even think about. One, you got teams that were even in the playoffs, they didn't even get in. You got teams that you didn't even think were going to get in the playoffs, and they did. I already had things listed, and I was like, these were predictions, these are everything going on. And from the looks of it, I was just so shocked to see all of what transpired happen. I mean, it's insanity. First off, congratulations to the teams that made the playoffs. And obviously, I feel sorry for the teams that could not get in. However, we saw some amazing games and amazing playing from a lot of people. And I can't wait to see how these teams get better in the offseason. Obviously, it's only from there, knowing how things work. Lots of coaches are going to get fired. Lots of players are going to be cut. It's going to be another wild free agency. It's going to be another wild NFL draft. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they hold the number 1 overall pick. Detroit Lions have the number 2 overall pick. The prospects, Kayvon Thibodeau out of Oregon and Aiden Hutchinson, they're both defensive ends. Aiden Hutchinson out of Michigan, so I'm assuming one of those guys will go 1, one of those guys will go 2. So it's going to be pretty nice to see what happens, but both these guys are pretty much going to be settled as the best guys available. So I'm really stoked to see what happens in the future, but obviously we need to look forward to the teams that have advanced into the playoffs. So starting with the AFC, the Tennessee Titans were able to beat the Houston Texans, which means they have the number 1 seed and they will have the bye. We will not see them for another 2 weeks. So obviously a great deal for people to rest their players, as well as Derrick Henry to officially return. Great deal for the Tennessee Titans. Kansas City, they have the number 2 seed. Pretty much they are, I think, right now the best team in the league. I think they figured it out. Kansas City was really struggling, and then they started to really mold their way through, and I think obviously they are still the favorite to win the AFC. The 3rd seed is Buffalo Bills. They were a heavy favorite. Everyone thought Josh Allen was going to win the MVP, but he wasn't quite the player that we thought he was going to be. However, Buffalo was able to finish things after falling a little short. They were able to pick themselves back up and win out and get into the playoffs and win the 3rd seed here after being on the cusp of actually not even being in. So that's a pretty big deal. The 4th seed belonging to the Cincinnati Bengals, a team nobody thought was going to get into the playoffs. That division everyone thought was too good, with the Browns, Ravens, and Steelers all making it into the playoffs the previous year. The Bengals, no one thought was going to get in. So this is a huge deal for the Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously, the wild card spots wrapped up. A huge win for the Las Vegas Raiders, a team nobody thought was going to get into the playoffs, with everything going on with their team, starting with the John Gruden emails, the Henry Ruggs DUI, and Nate Hobbs, and David Arnett getting arrested as well and having charges. It's just been a wild ride for the Raiders, but with everything they've gone on, they were able to push through and get the top wildcard spot. The next wildcard spot belongs to the New England Patriots. Completely a big surprise of Mac Jones really doing well this year to get the Patriots back in the playoffs after missing last year. So that's great. And then the final spot going to a team that honestly no one thought was going to get into the playoffs after how bad they've really been this year. Yes, the Pittsburgh Steelers somehow made the playoffs. And really, I don't know how. Which is just crazy to think about it. Obviously, as you see the matchups coming up, it'll be interesting to talk about it, and I'll be obviously coming out with my predictions video on that pretty soon sometime this week. With the NFC wrapping up, obviously we already know the Packers have clinched the bye, and we will not be seeing them for another 2 weeks. The second seed belongs to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as Tom Brady obviously racking up the second spot. It's going to be tough, because Tampa is a very good team. No Antonio Brown after everything that's happened. No Chris Godwin as he tore his ACL. So obviously they're down some weapons, but obviously this will obviously prove, can Brady still do it? And I think, a lot really goes into how it happens. Third seed belonging to the Dallas Cowboys, a team that the last couple of years have not been so bright for Dallas, but finally they were able to turn things around, and McCarthy was able to get his first winning season in a very long time. Dak Prescott looks like he's back on track, and Dallas almost looks unstoppable. They are very scary this year, and obviously a legit threat. So obviously I think the Packers, the Bucks, and the Dallas Cowboys right now are my favorites. I believe one of these three teams will make the Super Bowl. I'm not really high on everyone else, but the other teams that have made it in, however, the LA Rams, after losing a heartbreaker to the San Francisco 49ers, they still were able to win the division and clinch the 4 seed, where they will be facing the 5 seed, the Cardinals, who unfortunately couldn't win, but the good news is they get J.J. Watt back, which is pretty great, despite everyone thought he was done for the season. But the Cardinals obviously will be facing the Rams for the 3rd time this year, so that would be a great matchup. So as I said before, they have the top spot. Then the 49ers, who, they started out not so good, but then they were starting to get back on track and really be a threat. And I think they are a huge underdog to upset a team, 49ers being the 6th seed. And then finally, racking out the 7th spot, it was really a wild race to the end, but somehow, some way, the Philadelphia Eagles, out of all teams, a team that was really supposed to be rebuilding this year and next year to be a team for the future, they got in. So that's a pretty big deal for Philadelphia. Because let's be real, Carson Wentz, as they traded away Carson Wentz, Eagles fans, Colts fans have to be absolutely pissed off knowing that Carson Wentz could not get them into the playoffs and beat Jacksonville, yet the Eagles somehow got in. I have no idea how this works, but this was a very, very, very interesting season, and I'm excited for what comes ahead. We saw records being broken. We saw we saw the craziest of craziness happen this year. And it all comes down to the next 3 weeks on which final 2 teams will make the Super Bowl. Anyways, those are my final thoughts. Because obviously, when I was wrapping up things about the Packer game, half the games haven't even finished. So obviously I wanted to really talk about that when we got the chance. But that's that. So if you like what you saw, subscribe below, comment with your thoughts, do whatever, and as always, it's your man Clockboy Biz. Stay safe, be smart. Obviously, I'll root my Packers. Go Pack Go. We will see you